That question? What happened?
What happened?
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
2 o'clock in the morning, we got a call, like my husband is telling me, Lillian, there's been an accident. I say, what? Dennis has got an accident. When I got to the hospital, he was comatose. He was bleeding from the nose, bleeding from the ears. So I just touched his lower limb, and then I just said a silent prayer, and then they just took me away and took me to another room.
Hello, good morning everybody.
Good morning.
Hi, are you ready to do this?
So ready.
All right, I'm ready too.
In 2020 summer, I fell from 2 stories high and I hit my head against the other side of another building and then fell on the ground on my stomach. My skull did crack and I had emergency surgery in Tanzania, but eventually I needed more.
The neurosurgeon in Tanzania, Africa did a remarkable job saving his life and had to remove 45% of his skull in order to allow the brain to have room for swelling. That life-saving surgery of removing pretty much half his skull helped his brain survive, but it left him with multiple complications.
When I first met Dennis, it was very apparent that his road to recovery had been stalled. Because his surgery was on an emergency basis, he didn't have the good wound healing that should be expected of someone who's young and healthy like Dennis. And so his bone was resorbing, meaning the bone was not as strong as it used to be, and it was going away. And as a result, it became obvious to anyone who looked at him that there was a very severe indentation on the side of his head.
So we explained that we thought the safest way to do it would be 2 surgeries. The first surgery is really damage control. Remove the bone, wash everything out, figure out what type of bacteria is sitting in there, put them on the right antibiotics. So this was not easy for Dennis, it was not easy for his family. But he's a trooper and he's very strong and he knew this was the right journey for him. So he agreed to go through this 2-stage operation. We removed the bone, we identified the bacteria, we treated him for 6 weeks, and then we designed him a custom implant using a computer. We were able to map out exactly the shape that he needed to make him look like himself again.
What I couldn't do before the surgery, everything really. From playing soccer, from working out in the gym, I basically took a whole year off of school. I didn't like how I looked, so I either used to wear my do-rag or a hat. I was trying to hide it from the world, basically. After the second surgery, it was the best, I would say it was the best feeling I've ever had in terms of just having that freedom again, I guess. And just being able to not be insecure about the way I look anymore is very nice. And I am so grateful to people in the medical department everywhere in the world. Because, yeah, they're the ones that made me live another life.
My personal goal with all these patients in neuroplastic surgery, just like Dennis, is to restore them in a way that allows them to forget about me and the care team that provided neuroplastic surgery. Because that is a sign of success, that they can look in the mirror and forget that they lost half their skull or they fell 15 feet. If we can do that, then we're achieving the mission at Johns Hopkins.
Hello, Dennis.
Hi, Mommy.
So, how's everybody there?
We're good, Mommy. Can you show your full face, please?
Okay.
Smile.
Why?
Guys, and this is my queen, honestly. And yeah, she's my queen and I'm gonna make sure I make her proud.
Thank you, Dennis.
I love you.
You guys.